I now realize it would have been a much better article if I had interviewed him as to his, and gotten that on paper as to what he saw and how he saw this whole thing evolving. But I think it's actually kind of great that when I wanted to upgrade from Bitcoin-QT, it was Vitalik himself that sort of said, yeah, you might want to use these wallets and the like, and it's worked out pretty well ever since. What I want is a game with many winners. I want a game that evolves. I want a game that isn't monopolized, isn't structured in such a way that there are no room for surprises and evolution and coolness. I like games that are fun and inviting and don't do what you expect. The only games that I've ever known like this are fundamentally open. And by open, I mean no centralized points of control. I mean decentralized games. And I've had the pleasure in my career to be involved in a couple of them. One is the internet itself. So during the late 1970s and 80s, helped participate in putting this thing together, where if you just played by the protocols, you were welcome. There wasn't a permission-based, you weren't on somebody's platform, it just evolved and mutated along in conferences kind of like this called the IETF. And it worked very well. There's another game, was the World Wide Web, where you could go and set up and just be part of it just by playing by the rules, but then you could bend the rules and you were welcome to go and transform this thing of the World Wide Web for many, many years. Those have been great. And there were people that were involved in those, whether it was Vint Cerf and Al Gore and there are thousands of us that were involved in the internet era of trying to get that whole thing to work. I think we felt very successful, but we didn't necessarily all get rich, right? That there was just a way of sort of participating in this game with many winners, but not everybody was a winner. In the World Wide Web, Tim Berners-Lee actually never became completely wealthy, but he helped make something very, very important happen. I think that this area that this conference is based on is all based around making games with many, many winners. And let's do what we can to try to keep it that way, because the internet and the World Wide Web have seen some real closures, some real collapsing. In the early 1990s, there were 40,000 ISPs in the United States, but now there are only really a handful that make any difference at all. So something's gone wrong. Now, instead of the World Wide Web where you have lots of blogs and the like, it's collapsed down to Facebook or Twitter. So we have basically it's not that the web is failing, it's that people are setting up castles or closed gardens in the open pastures. It's something that I think we really have to watch out for. And when we were looking at sort of the structure of the Internet Archive and what we were doing, we thought that we really needed to be involved in building a new game. And that's what got us involved in the whole decentralized Bitcoin world and beyond. And that's what I'd like to talk about today. So the Internet Archive, I get to work here, this cool place. We bought a church in San Francisco and converted it to be our headquarters. And our mission is universal access to all knowledge. The thing that I signed up for in the internet is to try to build the internet into the Library of Alexandria version 2. Could we make it so that all the published works of humankind, books, music, video, web pages, software, could be made available to anybody, wherever they were, forever, for free? How many people here have used the Internet Archive? Oh, yay, fantastic. The Wayback Machine, probably. Did you know that we do books? No. Did you know we do television? So we, okay, a few people, okay. So anyway, we do a lot of these other things on at the Internet Archive as well. We basically are trying to take all of the existing materials, digitize it, and put it online permanently. We're trying to take what's born digital and make it permanently available, because the average life of a web page is 100 days and it goes away. So we have 300 billion web pages and grows, anyway, a lot. But what I'm going to talk about now is the restructuring of the web itself. The web itself we are being betrayed. The commons is being poisoned. The people that were supposed to be trustable haven't turned out to be, the real wake-up call for me was Snowden, to go and show that a lot of the people that helped build the web had then turned to use it as a massive surveillance tool. In the last election in the United States, no matter who you think should be elected or not, the actual process of it went very, very wrong. That we had people trolling and packaging and manipulating fake news structures were rampant, and they're still around. So we have basically structures that aren't working all that well. What I suggest we need is a web that's decentralized, a web that has got a peer-to-peer backend on it, that preserves some of the values that we wanted, but doesn't go backwards, but it's going forwards into the technologies that many of you are really pioneering and putting together. To try to do this, 2 years ago, we put together a call for the Decentralized Web Summit. Wouldn't it be great if we could build a web that's decentralized? And Tim Berners-Lee and Vint Cerf came, but also the IPFS folks, all sorts of people were building this. When we did this again just last year, a lot of these people had startups that were well-funded. It's on its way. But it's still not altogether there yet. Building decentralized systems is fundamentally harder than building centralized systems, and so we're all trying to get there. And the way that I wanted to try to help was to be a convener, but also by going and putting our own stuff online. Could the Internet Archive make itself decentralized? Could the 45 petabytes of the Internet Archive store, the 3 million users a day that are using the Internet Archive, could we make that decentralized? Could we make it so that it could get to it from anywhere and nowhere? And so that is the journey that I thought I'd go over today, and to list a bunch of the problem areas that we're finding that frankly we could really use help. And it's not just we as the whole web community, the internet community could use help on a laundry list of projects that I think you guys already know the answers to many of them. Building a decentralized Internet Archive, I realized there are about 5 central magic properties that we're based on. That is, I think it's time to just take a little notice of just like, holy crap! The idea of content addressability is wild. It's sort of Merlin stuff. That if you just have a hash of a file, you can just call it from the universe, and it can come together, and you can have it, and you can check that you have the right thing. At the first time, I think you don't actually need provenance. You don't know who you got it from. As long as it checks out with your hash, you know you have it right. This is a big, interesting technological step. The magic of encryption, public key encryption particularly, is woven into all our systems. You say, yeah. But just take a moment. It's pretty amazing. In terms of being able to build in a decentralized environment, private communications that are extremely difficult to bug. Another that's not quite technology, it's sociology and politics and economics, is a well-connected internet, but we're all very much based on it. And we have to do what we can to try to keep it around and alive. Yes, there are these countrywide firewalls going up and there are problems, but in general we have a well-connected internet. 2 more things. That we have an ability now to have downloadable code that's safe. So it used to be that we had to wait for a standards committee to come around to go and then it gets implemented and then it gets finally deployed. It's super slow evolution, especially in the web browser space. Can we go and download JavaScript to make our web browsers into something else? And you guys are doing it within the Ethereum contract structure, with WebAssembly, which is excellent, but this is magic in the sense that you can evolve much, much faster. And lastly, cryptocurrencies. How do we get beyond the original sin of the web, which is advertising? How do we do that? How do we make it so you can make money by publishing on the internet? Right now, you have to pretty much sign up to Amazon or iTunes or something like that to go and host your stuff. Can we go and use cryptocurrencies? And I think that's a big opportunity. Okay, I'm going to do something that they always suggest not to. It actually made people in in the conference, very nervous. I'm going to try to do a live demo of a decentralized internet archive. If this works, you're going to have to applause. Okay. Don't applause yet, because it doesn't work yet. Okay, I did try this a month ago in front of a group, and too many people went to this website before and things crashed. It was kind of fun. So don't go there yet. Here I go. This is the Internet Archive website. So just normal archive.org, sort of see what it is. What I'm going to try to show is a decentralized version of this that is a lot like this. So you're going to say, well, how are you going to show that anything new has happened? I'm going to go and turn on the JavaScript console and show how much mechanism is going on. So when I change this to dweb.archive.org, it's going to bootstrap all sorts of systems. WebTorrent, IPFS, Gun, YJS, all in JavaScript, not just as clients, but as servers of these, and then bootstrap all of that, and then start getting all of the assets to be the Internet Archive site. Okay, wish me luck. Okay, they booted up, all right. Okay, we got the banners up. So now we have the basic homepage up in terms of all of these images. Let's try going to get a movie. So here, again, it's going and getting a lot of assets of the Prelinger archives, which is old archival movies. These are old education